Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you how I made this deep neck shoulder pleats Bubu. Without wasting much time, let's go into the tutorial. This is the fabric I'll be working with, and I've folded the fabric into four already. One side has two openings, and on the other side it is completely folded. There is no opening on the other side. So on the open part, I'll be coming down by 1 inch, and that is to create the shoulder slope. So I'll be joining that 1 inch to the point where the fabric is closed, because that part where the fabric is closed will be our front and our center front and our center back. So I'll just be joining it to the 1 inch mark I marked on the other side. That is to create the shoulder slope of the bubu. As for the length, I'm using the entire length of the fabric, and it's a full length fabric. This fabric is Mikado, so it's actually its length between 60 and 62 inches. So it's a full length, and I'll be exhausting the entire length of the fabric. Now, from the starting line, I'll just be marking the neck width, which is 3 inches. I want it a bit wide, and for the back neck depth, I'll be marking 1 inch. So I'll just join the 2 points together, curving the back neckline. From the starting line, I'll be coming down by 10 inches, which is the chest line, and then I'll be marking 16 inches, which is the half length, and I'll go down to 24 inches, which is the hip length. These markings I'll take across to the other side of the fabric and mark both the chest line, the half length, where we'll be taking our waist measurement, as well as the hip length, and I'll be using a straight ruler to join the points together, because along these lines we'll be taking our body measurement. The bubu is not a really free bubu, it's slightly fitted, so we'll be taking body measurement along this straight line. So on that chest line, we'll be taking the chest circumference divided by 4. That is your bust circumference divided by 4. You put your markings and take extra 3 inches for ease, because it's not tight, but then it's not really free. So take 3 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance, because we'll be needing 1 inch for sewing allowance. And then on the waistline, which is the half length, you take your waist circumference divided by 4 plus additional 3 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. The same measurement for the hip, you take your hip circumference divided by 4, take 3 inches for ease, and add 1 inch for sewing allowance. So these are the horizontal measurements that we'll be needing for this bubu. Now across the shoulder, I'll be marking 19 inches. That is like exhausting the entire width of the fabric after folding into 4. So I just marked 19 inches, and I'll be coming down by 18 inches for the armhole. That is not exactly the width of the armhole, but as we go on into the tutorial, you understand why I marked 18 inches downwards. Now from that 18 inches mark, I'll come in by 1 inch. So you just mark 1 inch inwards and connect that 1 inch point to your hip, the hip line. So on that hip line, you remember we marked 3 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So we'll be connecting it to the 1 inch measurement we marked inwards, creating a slight curve. So here I'm just trying to use my free hand to create that curve. Next, I'll be marking the hip measurement across the fabric all the way down to the hem of the fabric, and I'll use a straight ruler to make a straight line from the bottom up to the point where we have the curve, because the lower part of the bubu is slightly fitted, but we have slit on both sides. Now on the neckline, I'll be coming down by 9 inch for the neck depth, which is 1 inch above the chest line, and I'll go in by half of an inch because I don't want it so wide. Now using my curve ruler, I'll just join from the neck width to the neck depth. That will be the front neckline of this bubu. Now I'll just proceed to cutting the fabric. So for now, I'm cutting the front and the back together, but later on I'll be separating the two, the front from the back. So I'm just cutting along the sleeve and I'll open up the folded part of the fabric. I'm just opening up the folded part of the fabric so that I can proceed to trim off the shoulder slope. So the next thing I'll be doing is to trim off the shoulder slope before I go ahead and cut on the neckline. So we are not done marking on this fabric. I'm just cutting out the part that is not necessary. Now I'll just be trimming off the back neckline. I'm trimming it together with the front, but I'll still be cutting the front neckline. I will be separating the two fabrics, separating the back from the front, because this Mikado fabric looks almost similar, the front and the back. I use the chalk to mark the back, that is to differentiate the front from the back. If you are not using a fabric like this, then there is no need to mark the back. So this is my front fabric, and now I'll just proceed to cut the front neckline after separating the front from the back. After cutting the necklines, the next thing I'll be doing is to cut interface to turn the front and the back neckline. So here I just folded a piece of fabric into two and I placed it underneath the back piece because I'll be cutting the interface for the back neckline first. So I'm tracing the back neck width and I'll trace the shoulder as well. So the width of the interface is 3 inches. You can use 4 inches, you can use 5 inches. It depends on how deep you want your interface to be. But for this particular one, I'll be marking 3 inches round because when I top stitch, it will lap. But if you feel you're using a fabric that cannot lap really well, you can go deeper, use as much as 5 inches. So here I'm just trimming my back piece interface. Next, I'll be cutting the front interface. So I'm done cutting the back interface and it aligns with the back neckline. So fold a bigger piece of fabric because we have a deeper neckline for the front part of the bubu. So fold a bigger piece of fabric and trace the neckline of the front piece as well as the shoulder. After tracing, you go ahead and mark the width of your interface. Again, I'm using 3 inches, the same as the back, and that 3 inches I'll still be weaving the raw edges of the interface after stitching. So I'll just trim off the pattern, and here we have our front neckline interfacing. So I'll place it on the fabric and it aligns right. If it does not align, you can proceed and cut another one or you trim off where you have excess. So here I've sewn the interface and I'm notching the curved area. I'll notch both the front and the back before I proceed to top stitch. So the essence of top stitching is so that your interface can lie very well inside your fabric. After top stitching, I went ahead to weave the raw edge of the interface. Now I'll be joining the shoulder of the bubu. So placing right side facing upwards and right side of the other part of the bubu facing downwards. I'll be aligning the interface together because I'll be sewing it together with the shoulder of the bubu. After joining the shoulders, I went ahead to iron flat the interface and also used hemming gum to make it relax even more. And this is how the right side of the neckline looks like. So I folded the fabric into four and aligned the sleeves together, making sure that everything is well aligned. From the shoulder, I went down by 10.5 inches, which will be our new sleeve circumference. So I marked 10 inches downwards and I'm coming in by 1 inch because I will need half inch to hem the sleeve. Now from that 1 inch I came in, I will make a slight curve downwards and just trim off the sharp edge, leaving us with a smooth curve on the side of the bubu. So I just trimmed off this sharp edge and this is what we have. Now I'll open up the fabric and this is where we'll be pleating along the shoulder. Now from the sleeve, I'll be coming in towards the neckline by 7 inches and I'll be coming in again by 3 inches because I want the pleats to be 3 inches wide. So I'm just extending that marking downwards so that when I'm stitching I won't miss the marking. Now I'll be pulling the sleeve towards me until I get to that 3 inches mark, the 3 inches separating the 7 inches from the 10 inches mark. So the pleat will be facing towards the sleeve and not the neckline. After I pull up to that 3 inches mark, I'll secure with a pin and allow the pleat rest towards the sleeve. Now on the other side, I'm marking 7 inches from the sleeve and 3 inches away from the 7 inches towards the neckline, and I'll extend the marking downwards the same way I did on the other side and pull towards the neckline until I get to that 3 inches marking. Let me turn this around so that you can have a proper view. From the first marking, I'll pull towards the neckline, secure with a pin, and allow the pleat to face the sleeve. So after pinning, I'll just sew 2 inches on both sides across the shoulder seam. After sewing, I'm done sewing the pleat. I didn't sew all the way down. I just stitched about 2 inches just to secure it. Now I'll open up the fabric inside, and on the half length, which is the waist length, I'll be marking where I'll fix the belt. How to know where to fix your belt? From the center front, just mark your bust span and you can fix your belt. I got a piece of fabric and made a strip for the belt, short slim strip for the belt, and attached it on the bust span area inwards. Now I'll just align the side of the bubu and notch where, because this bubu has pockets, so I'll be notching where I'll be fixing the pockets. I'll match the pockets together and secure with a pin. Then I'll sew from the top all the way down, leaving 15 inches at the bottom of the bubu for easy movement when walking. I've gone ahead to finish all raw edges. I folded the sleeve in by half of an inch. I'm done ironing the neckline, and for the bottom, I hemmed it by half of an inch. That is the raw edge of the fabric because I used the entire length of the fabric. The pocket has been secured, and this is our final look. You can wear this bubu without the belt and it will still look slightly fitted on you. You can as well use the belt inside to tie backwards. You can tie the belt to the front, giving you this ruched effect in front. And my favorite is wearing it with a fox collar. I hope this video was helpful, and please do well to like, share, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video. Thank you for watching. As always, bye.